Well, hi, greetings. I'm Roy Prevost, and I want to welcome you to the Customer Service Soft Skills Experience. And this is for you to kind of learn and get a perspective on what customer service really is and get some ideas and concepts as we move along in this post-pandemic world. So, who am I? Well, I'm an international speaker, best-selling author. I'm also a customer service activist, as well as being a serial entrepreneur, meaning that I've had multiple businesses over my career, some more successful than others, but it certainly has been exciting. I've delivered more than 400 workshops on customer service in retail, and I have been called a customer service whisperer. So I kind of got a handle on it and know what I'm talking about. So that's kind of an overview of who I am and my credentials. Now, this training is for you if you are a Z-Gen. What is a Z-Gen? That's a person born between 1997 and 2012. Now, this will give you a foundation for your life. Really, this training is unlike anything that's out there today that at least I have researched and haven't quite found what this training is of a similar nature to what this is. You'll make you totally indispensable in your upcoming career. In fact, the word will get around of how wonderful customer service professional that you are, and it'll give you a huge advantage in your life choices as you move forward in your career and wherever that takes you. And now, if you're a millennial, if you're born between 1981 and 1996, this will help give you a new perspective on serving and helping, kind of a different approach to it. It'll add to your vast knowledge of in your chosen career, whatever you're doing currently. And it'll add to your already very high level of customer service professionalism. Now, so two things I want to address right now. One is I talk throughout all the modules in this training, I talk about professionalism, being a professional, taking that as your mantle, understanding that some days go better than others, but you wear the badge of being a professional and you're proud of it. And I talk about that quite in depth, and you'll see me talk about it all through the different modules. Now, two things I want to share with you. If you are a millennial or you're Z-Gen, now I want you to have a look at me because I'm about at least one generation, if not two generations removed from you. So I want to honor you. You're entering into the world in a different era than I have. I'm very curious about it. I'm very familiar with a lot of the platforms where you engage on social media and things like TikTok and Instagram and whatever else that you're involved in. And there multiple platforms come every day, so you pick and choose what you want. So you are ensconced in that era. What I am teaching here is the face-to-face model where you're on the front line and you're meeting people on a face-to-face basis. That's what I'm talking about. But I do not want to give you the impression that I'm talking down to you, and nor do I want to give you the impression that what I'm saying to you kind of transposes what you're already doing. So I just want to be very clear. I honor you. I think you are the next generation. I'm counting on you, and so is the rest of the world. So that is kind of where I'm coming from. If you're a millennial or if you are a Z-Gen. Now, if you're Gen X, which is between 1981 and 1996, and or a boomer from 1946 to 65. Now, a boomer, the low end of the boomer would be 55 years old and beyond. So this training will be a reminder and a validation of what you've already been doing during your career. So if you're here and you are a boomer or an Xer, then you are well along in your career. Here's what I know for sure, and it's happened to me, is that I've taken a lot of training over my life, and some of the more interesting aspects I've forgotten about. I just, they've in the busyness of life, you just don't remember to do them anymore. Or you say, I used to do that and I don't do that anymore. And I used to be, that used to be part of my work culture and I don't do that anymore. So this is a reminder and it's a validation that you've been on the right track all the way along. So if you're in that group, I happen to be in the boomer group. I'm humble about it. It's just that I've had a lot more wisdom and a lot more experience because of age. So I just want to kind of take you there to let you know that this is a reminder if you're in that age group. So why are you taking this training? Well, here's my promise to you. If you take this customer service training seriously, you will be in a league of your own. And the reason for that is that most people have not ever taken customer service training. And so you'll be in the top 5% of customer service professionals who have, now here's what you're going to get. You're going to get a higher level of empathy for people. You're going to get a higher level of awareness for your world around you, and you're going to improve and increase your, what I call your emotional intelligence, because you can have all of the rules set out for you, you can have all of the goals set out for you, but customer service for the most part, and I would say 80% of it, is an internal process. It comes from you internally, and what you exhibit to the world, that's what you're going to live by. And so that's where I'm taking you, and that's where that's what you'll get from these different modules that we're going through. And you'll be in a high demand in the marketplace and in your current employment, wherever you are. You'll be in high demand because people recognize quality customer service professionals. And again, I stress the word professional. And it will serve you well for the rest of your career, whatever it is, whatever you're doing, whatever level you're at. You will not go wrong by taking this training and implementing some of the things that I'm going to be sharing with you. So, welcome to your journey. You'll learn about the 3 levels of connection. The very first one, the internal game, self, your internal process, your internal sense of worth, your internal sense of knowing who you are, your attitude, your professionalism. And then, surprisingly, to a lot of people, your coworkers are the next level, and it isn't the customer. So if you don't get along well with your coworkers, and there isn't a sense of harmony and kind of teamwork in the company, customers are intuitive. They can pick up when things aren't going well and when people aren't on the same page, and if they're not working together, this is picked, and they will not show up if they don't get a sense of harmony in your workplace. And of course, then the customers are the third part. None of this is to be diminished or dismissed, but is yourself first, your coworkers second, and then your customers. So you'll also learn about the mindset of the professional. You will learn about the mindset of the customer service professional, and I talk about that in depth, and there's nothing more important. And there's several things that you can think about and do to put your mindset right about being a professional in that arena. You will also learn about how to view your work as part of something meaningful and bigger and more important than you think. I'll give you one tiny example. Let's say a cashier. Some cashiers look at their work and say, well, all I do is take money for groceries and say hello to the customer. No, that is not what you are, and that is not what you do. You are the last person that touches a customer before they leave the door. And your value is incalculable. There can be a lot of things go on in your business, but that last person who says, thank you, Mrs. Brown, for coming. How was your day today? How did you get everything you needed? Can I, be of further assistance to you? Have a lovely day. And they walk out the door. They are feeling great. Customer service is about feeling. It's not about the interaction. It is about the feeling that they get when you get out. Now, ultimately, the interaction is what creates the feeling. However, understand what your role is. So just to give you a simple example. And you will learn about the importance of being of service to your coworkers. And that is the ultimate importance. Again, create that teamwork, that harmony, that a willingness to want to serve and to be of service to your coworkers, and likewise they to you, because there will be many opportunities and many situations where it's important to have your coworkers on side with you, and that you will need their help in all kinds of circumstances. So very important. Also, you'll learn about the 7 strategies on how to better collaborate with your coworkers. Just ideas on how to collaborate, how to engage, how to be a better team member, how to talk to and be part of that team that's called your coworkers. And then you'll learn about the importance of avoiding the Lone Ranger syndrome. And here's what the Lone Ranger syndrome is. It's my department, or it's my job. I don't really care about anything else. I just want to get my job done and get out of here. That is to be avoided at all costs. We don't live in that world anymore. That used to be very, very good back about 50 years ago. The reality is today everybody's engaged, everybody's intertwined. The Lone Ranger doesn't exist and should not exist, and I talk a little bit at length about that, but how the importance of it. Also, I talk about the emotional and mental mindset of the COVID pandemic customer. Now, we are coming out of a pandemic, and we're probably in it. We'll be in it for a couple of years, and your customer emotionally and mentally is a different person than, let's say, 6 months ago. They're more vulnerable, they're more needy, they're probably exhibiting a lot more frustration and anger than they normally would. And so your job is to learn about how, when they walk in, exactly who your customer is and how they're feeling, which has nothing to do with you. It's about their environment, and the more you can engage with them and be empathetic to them, the better it is. And then I talk about what your customers really want, and it's not product. And it's not has nothing to do with products and services. Your customers don't really want that, and I'll share that more about that in the different modules. You'll learn about the true value of a customer, how much, by virtue of losing a customer, what financial loss happens there. And gosh forbid if they actually tell all their friends about their bad experience. So I want to talk to you about the true value of a customer and what that means in the long term. And I'll give you examples of exceptional customer service, such things as a gas station that I share an experience with, an online shoe company who just blew the doors off everywhere. Several experiences that I've had personally about exceptional customer service that I talk about all the time, and a cab driver, and a cab drive that I had, and happening in Alberta as an example. So I talk about these examples to give you an idea. It doesn't have to be exceptionally dramatic, but it has to be exceptional by way of the customer saying, wow, this is great. And also, I'll talk about the 6 reasons why customers will fire you. Yes, you heard correctly. Customers fire businesses. How do they do that? They never come back. They never show their face again. They tell their friends never to go to see you. And I'll show you a very alarming statistic about a customer who would tell another person, I went to that business and they were terrible, and without that person even knowing, they probably would not show up either. So yes, the 6 reasons why customers will fire you. And then I talk about the 12 principles of customer service success that you will now take into stride and think about and be fully engaged with. I talk about simple phrases that can elevate you as a customer service superstar. So when a person comes in and they ask a question, you have a ready-made response that's positive, it's open, it's engaging, it's filled with possibility. That's what you need for the customer. The customer wants possibility. When they come in, they don't want to hear such thing as, no, I can't get that for you, or sorry, we don't have that, or sorry, that's not part of the rules. Gosh, don't go there. So I talk about simple phrases that will elevate you to becoming a customer service superstar. And then you'll learn how to deal with unhappy customers, because yes, you'll get them. Yes, they will come in, and you'll learn how to deal with these folks to kind of get them on your side, and that you're on the side of the customer. And so your job is to mitigate, to lower that level of unhappiness, and continue to have them come back to visit your business again and again. And you will learn about how to use the ASAP method to diffuse most challenges with an angry customer. Now, when I say, note the word most there, because sometimes it's beyond your ability to deal with an angry customer, and you have to take it to your supervisor or your manager because you have done everything you can, and that's where you bring in the manager or the supervisor. And you'll learn about the value of a complaint, understanding that a complaint is a gift. And I go through the rationale behind that. Most service providers, they try to avoid complaints like crazy, and they don't want to deal with them. You will get a whole different insight about what it means to have a complaint and the value of that complaint. And then you will learn about how to handle 5 different challenging customer service scenarios. Are there more than 5? Potentially there are, but if you get these 5 and understand the scenarios around them and how to resolve them, you'll have a good kind of toolbox of phrases and abilities to handle challenging customer service scenarios. And then this will all be delivered on what I call the Experientify platform. And you can Google that if you want, but it really derives from the gaming world and the video game world. And you're an experience, what we call experience points, like you would just normally have like video games. And if you're a Z-Gen, you're probably in the video game world or the gamification world. So we've taken that, put it into a platform, and it's fun and it's exciting, and it creates a willingness to want to create momentum around this training. And you'll have a lot of fun with that. And then you have visual effects that celebrate your achievement, and you'll also have coarse sound effects when a milestone is reached. So it's just great fun. That's we want to make your training fun, not boring. And you will receive points for each action taken. You will receive extra points for completion of exercises, and then you cannot move to the next module without completing your current module, because here's what my experience has been. Some people, not you, of course, want to just kind of tick off all the different things and say, yeah, I've seen them, and move on and not actually take the training. Not that we don't trust it, but it's important to kind of have a process in there. So that's part of the Experientify platform. Excuse me. And upon completion of your program, you'll receive a substantial bonus. So there we are. Now, this is the most important thing that I constantly refer to. I've learned that this is Maya Angelou, lovely poet from America. She was actually the Poet Laureate of America. And she said, I've learned that people forget what you said, they'll forget what you did, but they will never, ever forget how you made them feel. You are in the feeling game, the feeling business. How do people feel around you? How do people feel when they leave you? How do people feel in that engagement process? And your job as a professional is to make people feel fabulous, like that they come to you, you have given them beyond the call of duty service, and they just love being around you. So that is the kind of the mantra that I run with, because I have, this is part of my life. I mean, this is what I do, is make people feel great. So with that in mind, let's go to module 1, which is the mindset of the professional. And I look forward to seeing you very soon on the other side of this recording.